What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are super excited to tell you guys that we are working with a new company. They sent us out some products that they want us to try on old Booberry over here. So we're excited to show you guys what we've got, and let's go ahead and jump right into it and check them all out. All right, guys, let's jump right into this thing. So Evil Energy has reached out to us and asked us, hey, would you guys like to try some of our products? I said, absolutely. I already use all their products anyway, from my race cars to my daily drivers. I love their fuel lines, PTFE fittings, all the good stuff. We absolutely use everything that they sell. All the way from the fuel lines and the fittings to the exhaust tips they sell. Absolutely love it. So they sent us out a couple new products that they're getting ready to put on the line, and that is their high flow fill pumps. They sent us two of them. I would like to use two on the car if I possibly can. We'll see when we get to that point. But let's go ahead and unbox one of these and see what we've got. So first off, let's just jump right into the fill pump. It's an inline fill pump. This thing flows 300 liters per hour at 43 psi at 13.5 volts. That is more than a Walbro 255. So I think that's going to be pretty solid, and it's at a pretty decent price. The pack comes with a 10AN fitting and a looks like a 6AN fitting, if I'm correct on that. And it also comes with everything else needed: your wire connectors, little rubber grommets, and your crush washers to install that bad boy. And I really like how they package this. It's got a little bit of the shipping oil in it so it doesn't rust, anything like that. Everything is capped off on both ends so nothing is getting inside that pump. Just a quality shipping. I've gotten some expensive pumps before that don't even come in packaging quite like that. So that is really cool to see. Second off, they sent us this AN fitting wrench. So I have always used crescent wrenches. I've always used just regular wrenches on my stuff. I was really excited for them to ship this out to me. I do fill lines and fittings all the time, and have never got the chance to use one of these. So we'll definitely throw a review on this for you guys. I'm excited to use it. It looks like it goes all the way from 16 AN down to 0 is what they say. So anyway, like I said, very excited to try that bad boy out. And then they sent us all the other fittings that we are going to need to run these pumps. One that I needed in particular for my setup was a 10AN by 12 millimeter 1.5 thread pitch. The 1.5 thread pitch is the one that goes into the pump by 10AN on the other side. When I originally set up this fuel system in Booberry over here, if you guys watch any of my other videos, it is a MagnaFill 750 pump in there. With 10AN line feeding it, 10AN out the back to the engine. That fuel pump is probably a little overkill for the engine and the setup I got in this car. It is just what I had on hand. So like I said, I was really excited to try these out. There's a couple ways that you can run these fill pumps in line with each other. We'll dive into that later when we get ready to install these, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do to install these personally on my vehicle. Every vehicle is going to be a little bit different in that case. So as you're ordering these, make sure that you're getting the right fittings and everything that you need. If you're interested in any of the stuff that you see on the table, make sure you get on to Evil Energy and put our discount code in, BZ10. That'll get you 10% off of anything on your order, especially the stuff that you see on this table. I'm not 100% correct, but I think you guys can use that BZ10 for anything on the website. Support the people that support us and help our little channel out as well. So let's go ahead and get right into the car and get installing these things. All right, so first things first, we need to go ahead and get the old pump out of here. On my setup in particular, I actually welded a sump into my tank so I can run an inline pump. I really do like inline pumps and the way they're set up. I didn't want to do an in-tank pump. So I welded a sump on, so we have double AN coming out of there. So in order for me to start swapping this over, I need to get these fill lines off and get this tank capped so we don't have fuel going everywhere. The problem is that tank is completely full of gas. So I've got one of my little totes here. We're going to just try to catch some of the fuel as it spills and get this thing capped off real quick. Just moved into this new house, so I do not have a bunch of tools to get this job done, but I do have my new AN fitting wrench. So let's bust this line off. I got another 10 AN cap right here that I'm going to cap it off with. Now that she's loose, I can do it by hand, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as I possibly can. Get this unscrewed, slap it over. Hopefully I don't spray no fuel on you guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 1, 2. Grab our AN wrench. Give a little bit of a tighten. Perfect. That's already worked wonders right there. Believe me when I tell you, I use Evil Energy everything. There is our pre-filter. That is, I can't remember if that's the 10 micron or the 100 micron. That is our pre-filter and an after filter. One is a 10, one is a 100. I can't remember which one is which. But let me just tell you, see all that dirt and debris down inside there? All that stuff? That is the Evil Energy metal filter doing its job. Look at that. That pre-filter had caught all of this. So, hey, huge shout out to Evil Energy for saving my motor on that one, my fuel injectors, and all the above. So now that we've got everything out of here, let's go ahead and get our new pumps and everything set up to be installed back in. Now that we've got our fuel filters all cleaned back up and ready to go, we're ready to assemble our new high flow pump. So I think I have decided to just run one single pump for now. I think this will be quite plenty for the fuel system that we're going to use. There are a couple ways that you can run both pumps in parallel with each other. If you have a sump tank like mine, you can run 2 feed lines to each pump, and then you can use one of these Y fittings that they sent me, and you will Y out of each pump. Say this is the other pump here. You'd Y out of each pump, bam, bam, right to there, and that would feed your single feed to the engine. And or if you just only had one feed to the pump, you could also use a Y before the pump for your feed to the pumps, Y after the pump going to the engine. So depending on your setup, make sure, like I said, kind of pre-design what you're going to do. If you need any of these Ys or any of the fittings, just make sure you get what you need so that way your car is not down for an extra amount of time that you don't want it to be tore down. So like I said, I think I'm just going to run one pump for now. We'll go into the tune of the car. If it needs 2 pumps, we'll go in and throw our second one in. I would totally throw the second one in right now, but I don't have the second Y that I need to run these fill pumps. So we're just going to go with the one for now and test her out and see what she'll do. This engine is roughly pushing about 400 horse. So we'll see the limits and the capabilities of this pump. So let's go ahead and get this thing ready. So first, we need to pull this fitting off. This is a different style fitting. There we go. Nice and tight. Sweet. All right, so typically on all my fuel pump setups, I like to run my pre-filter and my after filter right onto the pump. It is just the easiest for me and my personal setup. Everybody's setup's going to be different. You can run your pre-filter by the tank, pump later, and then, fuel filter wherever you need it to be. So you don't have to do it like me, but this is how I do it. So this is the flow of the pump going in this direction. This is my pre-filter. This is my 100 micron filter. That goes before the pump. 100 micron filter is much better than the 10 micron. 10 micron after the pump. That way you get some nice flow to your injectors. So I just like to screw it directly on just like that. Nice and tight. Other side, back on that guy right there. Bam. And I'll just tighten everything up and we are ready to go. I did have myself an old Evil Energy fill filter bracket hanger that I'm going to use to kind of hang all this stuff. I don't have anything to hang this particular pump with at the moment, so I'm just going to use that guy. You could probably do 2 on there. They do also sell the brackets for the fill pump, so make sure you grab yourself one of those, and that way you can mount it up in place wherever you want it to be. So I'm just going to go through, tighten all these things up, and we'll get ready to go back under the car and install this bad boy. So I've got everything laid out so we can get this thing bolted back up in here. So originally, my mount for the MagnaFlow, I had 2 bolts in here. With the one at the moment, I just have 1 bolt that's going to hold all this up. I probably won't leave it this way. I'll probably end up changing it later on. But in order to get this video done and get this thing running and show everybody what we got, we'll just finish it up like this for now. Not too big of a deal. Get her in place. We'll get all our lines hooked back up, and I'll tighten that bolt up the rest of the way. So hook up our AN10 lines back up to this. Use that nice AN wrench they gave us. Now the thing about AN lines is you don't ever have to smoke them to the moon. Just get them somewhat tight there, and you'll be good to go. Before I hook up that last line, which has all my fuel going to it, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the power. So once I hook this last one up, when I spill gas all over here, I don't have to lay in it again. So next, we're going to hook up our power and ground with these nice little grommets. I already had my ground wire made up from the last one and my power one as well. So I'm not going to use the connectors they sent, but they are identical connectors. One thing I liked about the connectors they sent is the ground is a smaller connector hole than the power. So you can't, once you get them connected, you can't mix match them. You can't put the small one onto the big one. And if they're already wire connected to these little grommets they sent, they actually stretch really well. You can just stick that connector right through there, and you were good to go. So we'll shove that through. We'll get it all hooked up, get our power wires hooked up, and get this thing ready. Look at that fit and finish. She is all mounted up. Like I said, I have 1 bolt up in there holding that guy, 1 for our ground, and our power coming in. Look how clean that looks with those little grommets they give you. That is a clean install. So we are all good to go. Now we just need to hook up our last fuel line, and we'll be able to test her out. So let's go ahead and get wet. All right, y'all ready for this? Using that new sweet AN wrench line. I put it on the right way. There we go. Loose. All right, 1, 2. Let's get ready to get wet, guys. That wasn't too bad. I've done worse. Give her a nice little tighten. All right. We are good to go. I'm going to wipe all this down so that way when we turn it on, make sure we have no leaks. All right. I think we are ready to prime the system. I'm going to leave you guys under there. Tell me if I have any leaks. We'll turn this key about 2-3 different times. All right. Did you guys see any leaks? Yeah, we look dry. You could hear the pump when we first started up. It was first started getting the fuel in there. As it got its fuel pressure, you could hear it kind of bog down a little bit. That is completely normal when you start working with that big of fuel pressure. So we'll get this thing back on the ground and let's get her fired up. All right, guys, we are ready to rock and roll and start this bad boy up. I figured I'd pop the hood for you guys so you can see what's up in this thing. We've got an RB20 DET single turbo. and she's kind of a ripper. So yeah, let's jump in the car and fire this thing up. Let's start by giving her a prime. I want you guys to hear how quiet this thing, if you can even hear it. The old pump was so loud. Pretty dang good for a high flow pump. If you have a turbo setup, you may need to get out there and adjust your fuel pressure regulator. Make sure it's running at the right, what you need. So let's go ahead and crank this bad boy over. All right, up underneath. I can't even hear the pump over the car. That is so much better, considering it's a high flow pump. Well, I'd love to take it for a drive, but as you guys can see, we got a bunch of snow out here. One thing I want to mention, whenever you're working with the fuel system, anything like that, starting your car, make sure you're in a very well ventilated area. As you can see, I've got both my garage doors open while we were tinkering around with this. Even with both doors open, I'm still feeling, a little bit of the effects of all the fumes and things like that. So make sure you're being safe. Don't be doing anything stupid, anything like that. So I believe that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys like anything you see that we worked on today or anything else on the Evil Energy website, they've got these really sweet exhaust tips that we use for our car with burnt tips, non-burnt tips. They've got overflow catch cans. They've got oil catch cans. They've got it all. Go check out their website. Make sure you use BZ10 for 10% off all your order. And we'll see you guys in the next one.